So just find a comfortable seat. You are all frozen. I'm assuming that means I'm frozen too.
You're not frozen.
Oh, okay, thanks. All right, so we'll start with that box breath we've been doing. So just close your eyes and inhale a little more length into your spine. Exhale that softness down your shoulders. And now you find that count that works for you to make those 4 equal parts of your box for the box breathing. All right, maybe you start with 4 count inhale. And then hold at the top for 4. 4 count exhale through the nose. And hold the breath suspended out for 4. If you don't feel like counting it, you don't have to. You could just make them as long as you can. But if you find yourself coming back to thoughts, sometimes counting can help you come back to the body and get out of the head. So do a few more rounds here. We're going to make our intention just staying with our breath, seeing if today can be the day that you cannot miss one single chance to make the deepest, slowest breath you can. Using the breath as a tool to stay present and to still the fluctuations of the mind. So some days we show up and we want to like really give it our all physically. And that's fine if you want to do that too. But just imagine really giving it your all on that front of just committing to being right here. Saying no thank you to all the little tempting thoughts that try to grip you. Just finding that little inner smile, acknowledging you see it. And then coming back maybe to counting down from 5 into the belly. So I know a lot of people, they do their yoga or meditation and they feel like that's like enough. And then they kind of go back to their crazy ways. But the idea of this practice is that you're learning how to become present outside of this practice. So you're learning, and it's easier, with somebody reminding you over and over and over again. But you're seeing if you can just stay with your breath and stay present all through this practice so that you can show up for the rest of your life and stay with your breath and stay present there. That's the main part of what we're practicing here. All right, let's roll back onto our backs and hug your knees into your chest. And find a happy baby. Rocking side to side if it feels good. Keep your chin slightly tucked. See if you can find any tension in your low back and massage it out here. Now grab your big toes. Start to straighten your legs out and then see if you can roll up and balance here. If you fall, no worries, just roll back onto your back again and try again. So you'll need to kick hard and try to straighten into the legs and lift up through the heart. You'll find this little balancing point on the sit bones perched there. The heart is lifting, shoulders drawing back, and you're kicking a lot. Find your breath. And release. Now we'll cross the feet in front. Bring the right foot in front of the left. Maybe you bring your right heel up into center if you're working on lotus. And we'll just drop our right ear to our right shoulder and walk the left fingertips out to the left. So you don't have to find that 4 equal parts anymore unless you want to, but do still find that pause between each breath. If you want, you can use the right hand to invite a little more length into the left side of the neck. Not really applying a lot of pressure, just this gentle invitation. Keep using your exhale to soften everything. So the more you reach through those left fingertips, the more you're going to feel this. Maybe you even want to find movement through that left hand. All right, release your head back up. Reach your right arm up and over. Start to bend into the left elbow. Root the sit bones down. Draw that right elbow back and reach through the fingertips. So the main reason I give you so many cues in each pose is really just to give your mind something to do so it doesn't start to wander. Yes, they're important. Yes, they will help you find alignment, but they're not super necessary. You don't have to do all the things all the time. But if they help you to stay right here in the body and with this breath, then use them. Use whatever works for you. All right, stay for one more breath. Find a little more length. Root into that right sit bone. And slowly come back up. And now drop the left ear to the left shoulder and walk the right fingertips out to the right. Use that exhale to soften. Maybe that left hand invites a little more length. Release that left hand. Actually, reach that left hand up and over. And bend into that right elbow, root into the sit bones. Draw that left arm back and then reach through the fingers. Relax the head and the neck. Slowly come back up. Oh, we forgot to switch our feet. That's okay. Let's just switch them real quick. We'll bring the left foot in front and maybe bring that heel up into the center if you're working on that. And we'll just do a few rounds of seated cat-cow. So bring your hands onto your knees, shine your heart forward, look up, fill up. Exhale, round it out. See how long you can make each breath last. So just by finding that pause between each breath, you're making sure that you're not just letting the breath happen on its own. And that's a little hack to staying present. Because if you have to be there to monitor the breath, then you can't start to wander off to somewhere else. One more time, see how long you can make it last. Quit licking your butt on camera. And now we'll come back up and roll onto our hands and our knees. And get a nice tabletop setup, stacking everything in place. We're just gonna start to move really slowly and deliberately, really engaging our muscles, feeling our strength, feeling our alignment. As you breathe a little length into the spine and the back of the neck, press down into the hands. Now reach back through the right heel. Keep the toes on the ground and find a nice calf stretch here. And just notice what happens. Did you bend one elbow? Did you kind of cock to the side? See if you can come back to your alignment as you press into the hands evenly and keep the arms straight and the heart shining forward. Back of the neck stays long. Press back through that heel. See if you can find your core. Lift from there as you lift the right foot up. Keep it flexed. Keep the toes pointing down. Reach the left hand forward like you'd shake somebody's hand. Keep looking down. Keep that left shoulder relaxed, but reach forward through the fingers. Reach back through the heel. Engage your core. Find a little more length. Exhale, draw the knee all the way to the nose. See if you can touch it. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Point the toe now. Lift a little higher than level. You can look a little bit forward. Exhale, round it out. Keep rooting down into that right hand. And see how long you can make each breath last. That's kind of like practicing patience, right? Sometimes we're in such a hurry just to get on with it. But just by letting this breath linger a little bit longer, choosing to be right here instead of in a rush to get to the next pose. One more inhale, lengthen out. Now lower that left hand back down, lower the right foot at the back of the mat. We're gonna peel the right arm up towards the ceiling. If it's hard to balance, slide the left foot behind you like a kickstand. All right, root down into that right foot like warrior two. Reach the right hand up and then up alongside the ears. You scoop the hips forward towards the long edge of the mat and roll the heart up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulder out of the ear and reach through the fingers. Relax your head and your neck. Find a little more length on your inhale. Geez, chin. Get out of here. All right, fire up your core. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your right hand to your right thigh, your left hand up and overhead. Keep those hips scooping forward and heart lifting up. Slowly lower the left hand back down. Right arm comes up. Maybe you lift the right leg or you just root down into that right foot more. One more time, inhale, come up. And back down. Now plant the right hand, keep the right foot lifted, bend the right knee, reach the left hand back and grab that foot if you can, and then kick up into the hand. Root down into the right hand, lift up through the heart. Make sure that shoulder is stacked over the ankle. Find your breath, maybe start to gaze over the shoulder. Now really slowly, gently lower that knee back down. Come back, hands and knees, and find some big, slow circles with the hips. Switch directions. Come back up to that neutral spine. Engage everything, lengthen everything. Move slowly with control as you reach the left heel back, toes stay grounded, arms stay straight, back of the neck stays long, heart is shining forward, shoulders drawing back. There's no room for the monkey chatter there, right? Staying with this breath, finding that little space in between. There's too much going on. All right, from the core, lift that left foot, lift the right arm and lengthen out. Flex the foot. Keep the back of the neck long. Reach back through the heel, reach forward through the fingers. Exhale, draw the knee all the way to the nose. Empty every last drop of air. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Point the toe, lift a little higher. Exhale, round it out. One more inhale to lengthen. And now plant the right hand, lower the left foot back there. Maybe right foot slides behind you. Peel that left arm up and then bring it up alongside the ear. Root down into the left foot like warrior two. Scoop the hips towards that long edge. Roll the heart up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulder out of the ear and reach through the fingers. Press down into your fingers and knuckles a little more. Soften through the neck. Find your core. Inhale, come up. Left hand, left thigh. Right hand up and over. Slowly lower the right hand back down. Maybe the left leg lifts up or maybe you plant it down hard again. One more inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Lift that left leg. Plant the left hand. Reach right hand back to grab the foot. You're being gross. Seriously. Maybe start to gaze over the right shoulder. Root down into the left hand. Kick up into that hand. Do you need me to look at it? What's going on over here? No? Okay. Now really slowly, gently lower that knee down. Come back, hands and knees, and find those big, slow circles with the hips. Switch directions. Slowly come back to center. Now we're going to curl the toes and slowly lift it on up, downward facing dog. Pedaling it out if you like, or finding stillness here. Start to press into the fingers and knuckles a little more to hollow out the armpits and find that external rotation of the upper arms as you pull the elbows in towards each other. So try tucking the chin a little bit and finding more length in the back of the neck as you look up at your belly. Draw the belly in and up. If that feels like too much on your neck, just let your head hang heavy. Now press down to the left foot. Inhale, reach the right foot up. Come up on the tippy toes, slowly with control. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Lower the left knee down. Inhale, rise up. Just one breath, don't miss it. Exhale, lower the hands, step the left foot forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Shake the head a little bit. Now reverse swan dive, press into the feet, come all the way up. Find a little backward bend. Find that little pause between each breath. So now your feet are together or your feet are hip width distance apart. They're pressing down into the ground. Now reach the arms out to the sides, palms facing down. All right, press into the feet, grow a little taller. Draw the shoulders down the back. Now reach in both directions. Now reach out through the pointer finger, like you're being measured from fingertip to fingertip. And you want that extra little centimeter. Really reach, reach, reach. And then the middle finger. Stay with your breath. Keep pressing down into the feet. Ring finger. Pinky finger. Now turn the palms to face up. And again, through the pointer finger, press down into the feet, lengthen up through the crown, middle finger, draw the shoulders down the back, really reach through that ring finger. And then the pinky finger. Bring your hands up overhead, squeeze your palms together, lift your fingers a little higher. And now trace that center line of your body as you hinge at the hips. Empty all the air. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to plank pose, slow and with control. Hold here. Find everything stacked in place. Find your strength, find more length. Find that little pause. Find stillness here. Slowly lower down any way you like. We'll do a few rolling baby cobras with the hands under the shoulders. Press down into the feet. Let the inhale lift you up. Roll the shoulders back. Take your time. One more. Make it the deepest, slowest breath you've ever taken. See how long you can hold on to it. Curl the toes under, press the hips back towards the heels, and lift it up, downward facing dog, finding stillness here, finding a little more length. Press down into the right foot, inhale, left foot reaches up. Come up on the toes, exhale, knee to nose, step it through, lower down, inhale, rise up, fill up. Exhale, lower the hands, step it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, press into the feet, come all the way up, find a little backward bend. Exhale, hand to heart. And hands down by your sides. Inhale, take your time, be big, find that big stretch. Take your whole exhale, leading with the heart, hinging at the hips. Belly comes in and up to empty all the air out. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. Find your length, find your strength. Lower any way you like. And you can either do a few rolling baby cobras again, or you can start to come up a little higher, straightening into the arms. Keep using your hands to draw the heart forward. Keep drawing the elbows in and reaching them back towards the feet. See if you can press down into the feet, but soften through the glutes. Maybe you straighten all the way into the arms. Maybe for the last breath, you look up and reach up through the chin. Slowly lower back down. Curl the toes, press up to plank, and lift it up, downward facing dog. Okay, now we're just gonna take a couple hops right here in place. So we're not trying to get anywhere. We're just hopping a couple inches up off the ground. Really pressing into the hands. See if you can fire up the core and catch a second or two of hang time. And then start taking small hops towards the top of the mat, bringing your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Now, lower your booty back behind you. Sweep the floor. Reach the arms forward and up. Sink into that chair by sinking into your heels. Draw your upper body back a little more. Find your breath. Now slowly stand up, press the feet into the ground, lift the heart, find that little backward bend. Exhale, hands to heart, and hands down by your sides. Now we're just gonna come into tree pose, lifting the right foot up, maybe planting it on the inner thigh. If it's hard to balance today, maybe your right toes stay touching the ground like a little kickstand. Avoid the knee. Ryan's gone for a week and he took the speaker with him, so we have no music here. It's very, very sad. It's okay though. It's kind of really, really nice actually, the peace and quiet in this time to myself. All right, maybe you reach up out of the waist, maybe you shift your gaze up, maybe you sway in the wind a little bit. And feel the left foot rooting down into the ground as everything else is reaching up tall like a tree, reaching for the sun. On the exhale, see what you can soften. Now lift that right knee up, bring your hands to your heart. Hinge at the hips, tip forward, and kick that right leg back so everything's parallel to the ground. Flex the foot, point the toes down and slightly in, level out the hips by lifting the left hip up and back, lowering the right hip down. Now plant the left fingertips in front of the left toes and peel the right arm up towards the ceiling to stack the shoulders. And now turn the toes out towards the long edge of the mat. So lift that leg till it's parallel, press back through the heel, and then roll that right hip back to stack it right on top of the left. Roll that right shoulder back to stack it too. Maybe your left fingertips float off the ground. Slowly come all the way up to reverse the warrior. Deep bend in the left knee, left hand reaches up and back. And then we'll settle into warrior two. All right? Make sure your knee is tracking straight out over that second toe. Maybe you can get your left thigh parallel to the ground. Gaze out over the left fingertips. Squeeze your fingers together. Feel the heart lift and the shoulders melt. Find that maximum wingspan. Now press down into both feet, especially the outside edge of that right foot if it's trying to come up. Magnetize that pubic bone up towards the navel. Find that little pause between each breath. Now we'll come into extended side angle. You can reach the right arm up first and find all this length, and then you can reach it up overhead. Now make sure that left knee is still tracking straight out over that second toe. If it's trying to collapse in, you can use your elbow to press it back a little more. You can also use your elbow to find leverage to twist your heart up towards the ceiling and then lengthen that whole right side, rooting down into the feet, still magnetizing that pubic bone up towards the navel and scooping the hips towards the long edge a little bit. Maybe you want to find a bind here, reaching your right hand behind your back, reaching your left hand underneath. If you grab a hold of something, keep trying to roll that right shoulder back to open the heart. Keep pressing down into the feet. Keep your core engaged. Stay with your breath. Okay, left knee stays deeply bent. We come all the way up to reverse it. And exhale, cartwheel hands to mat, chaturanga. Kneading back in downward facing dog. So again, we're going to take a couple hops just right in place here, seeing how high you can get your feet off the ground. Maybe you start to stack the hips over the shoulders. And then start taking tiny hops towards the top of the mat, bringing your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, spread your feet as wide as the hips. Put those big toes with your peace sign fingers, shine the heart forward, find all the length in your spine. Exhale, pull the head down towards the feet. Pull the shoulders up out of the ears and fold yourself in half. If you find yourself coming back to thoughts, then just do all the things. Press into the feet, rock your weight into the toes, lift the sit bones up and back, and that pause between each breath. If not, if you're staying right here and present, you don't have to really push it or really pay attention. You can just stay with that kind of slow, easy, meditative movement, letting your breath be your guide. Press into the feet, reverse swan dive, come all the way up, find a little backward bend. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Step your feet a little closer together, and then we'll bring the left foot up into that tree pose. Maybe into that inner thigh again. Maybe we need to stay grounded. Bring your hands to your heart. Press the hips forward. And embody that tree, rooting to rise here. Maybe challenging your balance by looking up or reaching up or swaying in the wind a little bit. Slowly lift that left knee up, bring your hands to your heart. Feel this hinge at the hips as you lean forward, everything parallel to the ground. Foot is flexed, toes point down and in, lengthen out. Find your breath, find a little more length. Plant the right fingertips, peel the left arm up like you're drawing a bow, turn your toes towards the long edge, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. So do all three of these things and feel this opening as you lift the left leg a little more and press back through just the heel and roll that left hip back, roll the left shoulder back. Maybe right fingertips float off the ground, bend into the right knee, come all the way up to reverse it, move slow. Let that knee track over that second toe and then slowly come into that extended side angle. Check in with that knee, still tracking over that second toe. Reach the left arm up and then over. Plant down into the feet. Pubic bone drawing up towards the navel, hips scooping towards that long edge. Maybe right elbow pressing right knee back to keep it stacked over the ankle. Maybe right elbow used for leverage to roll that left shoulder back and open the heart. Maybe you go for a bind here. Still keep that right knee tracking out over that second toe. And keep trying to roll that left shoulder back to open the heart. But most importantly, stay with your breath. And see if you can still find that little pause. We'll come all the way up to reverse it. Right knee stays deeply bent. Maybe left hand stays behind your back. Exhale, cartwheel, hands to mat, chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Okay, if you were liking the hops, you can do that again. We're just gonna bring our feet up to meet our hands. Maybe one big hop, maybe a bunch of little hops. Bring your feet together. Lower the booty back behind the knees. Sweep the floor, reach the arms forward and up. Sink into your chair. So a little more weight in the heels. Draw the upper body back. Now interlace your fingers. Glue your palms all the way together. Try to bring your biceps back with your ears and your chin away from your chest. Now drop it over to the right a little bit. Keep dropping both sit bones down evenly. Slowly come back to center and drop it over to the left. Slowly come back to center. Lower your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Maybe your palms glue. As you hinge forward, fold forward, reach the arms up and overhead. Let your head be heavy. Release the hands to the ground. Shoot the right foot high like standing split. Slowly come to standing. Bring your right knee with you. Cross the right knee over the left. We'll find eagle pose. Maybe you can get the toes to wrap all the way around that calf. Bring the right arm under the left. See if you can get your palms to touch. Draw the elbows out and up. Draw the shoulders down the back. Now sink in by softening into that standing ankle and knee. Find a little length in the back of your neck. Pull the belly in. Find your breath. Find stillness. Slowly come up. Lift the right knee high. Hinge forward. Everything parallel to the ground. Reach back through that heel. Toes point down and in. Elbows reach for the ground. Fingers reach towards the top of the mat. Slowly step back into crescent lunge with eagle arms. Let that left knee track straight out over that second toe. Find a little backward bend. And then drop your head right inside of that knee. Let your head be heavy. Keep pressing that left knee straight out over that second toe. And now walk it over to the right, coming to a wide leg forward fold. Turn your toes in a little bit. Inhale to lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. So we're just gonna grab our big toes with our peace sign fingers. If there's something you would rather do here, feel free to do a different variation. Let's do one more half lift to lengthen the spine. Roll the shoulders back. Now take all that length with you as you pull your head down towards the mat. Pull the shoulders up out of the ears. Rock a little weight into the balls of the toes. Lift the sit bones up and back. I decided I was going to get it all hot in here today and sweat a little bit, and then I just realized it's probably a really bad idea with my poison oak. So I just opened the door. Bring your hands to your hips and a little bend in your knees and slowly come on up. Now we're going to turn our toes all the way out to the sides, trying to stack our knees over our ankles, maybe with a little help from our hands. All right, we're trying to press the knees straight out over those second toes. And we're not tucking the tailbone under, but we are like dropping the tail to lengthen the spine. Now bring your hands on your knees with your thumbs pointing down towards your knees. Your thumbs are on the inside, yeah? And you drop a little weight here to lift the heart and lengthen the spine more. We're checking with the knees. Did you let them collapse a little? Can you draw them back a little more and then press them out over that second toes? And now drop your right shoulder towards your left foot. Keep pushing both knees out to the sides evenly. Use your exhale to soften through the face and the shoulders. Slowly come back up. And again, left shoulder, right foot. Come back up. Now we'll come into goddess pose, the cactus arms, hands pointing in at the face. Now we'll roll up onto the tippy toes, lifting the heels up. Pull the belly in. Still trying to get those knees tracking over those second toes, maybe moving around a little bit here. See if you can come up any higher on the toes, pull the belly in. And now lower the feet down, press into the feet, inhale, rise up, straight legs, straight arms, reach up out of the waist. Now really slow and controlled, like you're moving a lot of weight here. Sink back in, keep drawing the elbows and the knees back, back, back. Inhale, lift up. I don't know why you guys are frozen. I'm hoping I'm not. Exhale, sink in. 2 more times. See how long you can make each one last. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn all your toes to face the top edge of the mat. So your left foot's in front now. In case you turn to the other side, your left toes are in front, come into crescent lunge. Bend into that left knee. Square your hips to the front of the mat. Reach up out of the waist just a little bit more. And exhale, cartwheel hands to mat, chaturanga. Kneeling back in downward facing dog. All right, again, any way you like, come to the top of the mat. Maybe one big hop, maybe a couple little hops. Maybe you stack the hips over the shoulders for a second on the way. Then we're gonna find that chair pose, lowering the booty back there, sweep the floor, reach the arms forward and up. Find your breath, sink in a little bit. All right, interlace the fingers, glue the palms together, drop the booty a little bit, drop the arms over to the right. Inhale back to center. Drop the arms over to the left. Inhale back to center, lower the hands behind you, interlace fingers, palms glue. Exhale, fold, arms up and overhead. Rock a little weight into the toes, let the head be heavy. Lower the hands to the ground, shoot the left foot high like standing splits. Come all the way up to standing, bring the left knee with you. Cross the left knee over the right, eagle pose, maybe toes wrap on this side. Cross the left arm under the right, maybe palms touch on this side. Draw the elbows out and up. Soften that right ankle and right knee to sink in a little more. Upper body back, belly in, back of the neck long. Find that little space. Slowly come up, lift the left knee up, hinge forward, get everything parallel to the ground. Foot is flexed, toes point down and in, elbows reach for the mat, fingers reach towards the top edge, lengthen out, bend the right knee, step into that crescent lunge with eagle arms, find a little backward bend. Keep pressing the right knee forward, drop your head inside of it. Let your head be heavy, keep pressing that left heel back. Release your hands, walk your hands over to the left, come to that wide leg forward fold. Turn the toes in just a little bit. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Now maybe you grab the outside edge of your feet, stepping on all 10 fingers there. Or maybe you just walk the hands back with your fingers pointing back away from you to pull your head down towards the mat. Or maybe you feel like going upside down. If you can get your head to the ground and start to lift your feet up with no momentum, feel free to go up. Stay with your breath. And recommit. Sometimes when we go upside down, it's just kind of like in the real world. We're like, well, I'll get the breath back later. You know, this is intense, you know, but this is really when you need it the most. So see if you can stay with it. Not let yourself off the hook just because you're upside down. Stay with your breath. Keep that little space between each breath. And when you're ready, come back, hands under shoulders, little bend in the knees, hands to the hips. Come on up. Turn the toes out again. Try to stack those knees over the ankles. And one more time, press down into the hands here to lengthen the spine. And then drop the right shoulder towards the left foot. See what you can soften on the exhale. Come back to center, sink in, straighten out, left shoulder, right foot. Slowly come back up. And that goddess pose, sink in a little more, draw the elbows and knees back a little more. And again, roll up onto the toes, lifting the heels up. Keep drawing those elbows and knees back. Keep tracking those knees over those second toes. Engage your core, sink in a little bit, come up a little higher on the toes. Lower the heels down, inhale, reach up, be big, lift the quads up, lift the heart. Exhale, sink in, pulling everything down and back. 2 more times. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn all your toes to face the front. The right foot's in front now. Find that crescent lunge. And cartwheel hands to mat, chaturanga. Meeting back in downward facing dog. All right, inhale, roll it forward into plank. Now roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Actually, come back up to plank. Come back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot reaches up high. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. And now roll to the outside edge of the left foot and then the outside edge of the right foot, opening that right hip. Maybe you use your right hand to press that knee open a little bit. Find your breath. And now slowly sweep that right foot back to side plank. You can keep it stacked or lifted. Reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. Root down into the left hand, lift the hips up. We're still magnetizing that pubic bone up towards the navel. Maybe you can bend the right knee and grab the big toe and straighten that leg out. Lift your hips a little higher, find your breath. Now slowly step the right foot back up to the top of the mat. Step your right hand inside of it and lower the left knee down. You can stay on the hands or you can lower down to the forearms. You can keep the right foot grounded and the right knee hugging in towards your shoulder, or you can turn the toes out a little bit and roll to the outside edge of that foot. Let your head be heavy. Come back to that box breath now. That 4 equal parts. So even if today wasn't the day and you didn't make it through your whole practice, staying with your breath the whole time, let's recommit. Maybe for this last 20 minutes of class you can. Let's start again. Slowly come back up onto the hands. Keep the left hand planted, roll the right arm back, grab that foot. If you can't grab it, just press the booty back until you grab a hold, and then you can sink back into that pose. All right, root down into the left hand, lift up through the heart. Maybe you start to gaze over the shoulder. Now find that resistance. As you kick into the hand, pull that foot in a little tighter. Again, if it feels good to rock to the outside edge of that right foot, you can. Now really, really slowly, gently with control, float those toes down. Lift that left knee up. Roll the right arm up, stacking the shoulders. Find your breath. Now slowly lower the left knee. Bring your arms up like reverse crescent, but the left knee is on the ground. Right hand finds left thigh, right knee presses forward. Now bring both hands down to frame the foot and draw the toes back like half splits, or walk that right heel forward, working towards full splits. All right, pull that right hip back into the socket to keep the hips level. Maybe start to bend at the elbows, bringing your body down to meet the leg. Pull the belly in, draw the toes back, keep the heart lifted. Find those 4 equal parts. Slowly release, slide the right foot back till it's underneath the knee. Shoot the right foot up and back, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hips. So keep the arms straight and strong, rooting into the fingers and knuckles. Head is heavy, keep twisting open, lifting that right knee up, trying to stack the hips. Sinking into that left heel, twist. And slowly come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot high. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose, step it through. Now roll to the outside edge of the right foot and then the outside edge of the left foot. Maybe using the left hand to help the left knee open. Root down into the fingers and knuckles. Feel the strength in your right arm as you lift up through the heart. Now slowly peel the left foot back, side plank, stacked or lifted. Make sure your shoulder's over your wrist. Reach the left hand up. Lift the hips a little higher. Maybe you grab onto that big toe and straighten that leg out. And then slowly step that left foot back up to the top. Step your left hand inside of it and lower your right knee down. Maybe you turn those toes out. Maybe you drop down to the elbows. Let your head be heavy and find that breath. See how long you can make each part. Slowly come up. Keep your right hand planted. Reach your left hand back. Grab that foot. Shift the booty back if you need to grab a hold. And then sink back in. So again, left knee can be hugging in towards center line, or you can be rocking to the outside edge of that left foot and letting that knee fall open here. Feel the strength in your right hand as you root down, lifting through the heart, peeling that right hip flexor open. Use your breath. Find stillness. Really slowly, gently lower those toes back down. Lift the right knee off the ground, peel the left arm up, roll the left shoulder back. Now slowly lower the right knee and come up like reverse crescent. Left hand finds right thigh, left knee presses forward. Lower hands to frame the foot, draw the toes back like half splits, or walk the left foot forward, working towards full splits. Toes drawing back towards the face, left hip drawing back into the socket, maybe bending at the elbows. Slowly release, slide that left foot back until it's under the knee, curl the right toes, shoot the left foot up, three-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hips. Try not to let your structure be tilted here. Arms are straight and strong, head is heavy. Sink into that right heel and twist. Slowly come back downward facing dog. And lower down to the knees. And we'll come into a child's pose. Come back to that 4 equal parts breath. And we'll slowly come back up. And we'll sit onto the left hip and straighten the right leg out in front. We're going to bring the left heel up into the center line and try to let the knee fall down. Kick out through the right heel, keep the right quad active and the toes drawing back towards the face. Maybe you can keep that heel lifted off the ground. Now we're just going to reach up and then tip forward and grab whatever we can here. Maybe you can grab that foot. Keep that right quad activated if you can. Keep rooting down into that left sit bone and trying to drop the left knee down. If you want to find a little twist here, come back up, turn and twist to the left and try to grab that big toe with the peace sign fingers of the left hand. You can use your right hand to help you grab a hold. Maybe you grab on and that's enough, or maybe you still want to reach for that right foot. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to soften, find those 4 equal parts. And slowly release, straighten the left leg out, bring that right heel up into center, and try to lower that right knee down. Kick out through the left heel, maybe it lifts off the ground. Inhale, reach up and reach forward, grabbing whatever you can here. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, soften. If you want to find that twist, come back up, turn and twist to the right. Right peace sign fingers, grab that toe, maybe left hand helps. Maybe you grab it and that's enough, or maybe you still want to reach for that foot. Slowly come back up. Now straighten both legs out in front of you. Flex the feet, draw the toes back towards the face. Press into the hands like you're trying to lift the booty off the ground. Maybe it even lifts. Now magnetize that pubic bone up towards the navel. Engage the mula bandha. Now lift the heart up towards the chin and draw the chin down towards the chest. Really press into the hands. Fire up the quads. Kick out through the heels. Draw the toes back towards the face. One more time. And release. Now bring your feet flat on the ground. Reach your hands forward and slowly roll back onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And find a happy baby. Now, if you feel like it, you can straighten the legs out to the sides and try to rock up, grabbing a hold of your feet and trying to balance again like we did in the beginning. Otherwise, just stay in your happy baby, maybe grabbing those big toes and straightening the legs out wide to the sides. Okay, now cross your right knee over your left knee and grab onto your feet, the outside edge of your feet. If that's easy for you, maybe you interlace your fingers around that left shin and draw it in a little closer. Tuck your chin a little bit. Soften through the face and shoulders. And find that 4 equal parts. Imagine that your legs are the shoestrings and you're trying to get that knot a little close, a little tighter by bringing the knees a little closer together if they're not touching, by pulling on the ends. Maybe it feels good to act like you were going to place your feet down flat on the ground and kind of roll your knees forward too. All right, keep your knees crossed, just release your grip. Bring your arms out like cactus. Shift your hips to the right and lower your knees to the left. Maybe you wrap your toes around that left calf. See if you can bring that right elbow and wrist and hand all the way down as you gaze out over it. If your knees are not all the way down to the ground, maybe your left hand helps you to ground it there and find a really nice twist. Now find that 4 equal parts. See how long you can make each part last and recommit to making this breath count. Slowly come back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Cross your left knee over your right, grab onto the outside edge of your feet, or interlace your fingers around that right shin. And tighten up the knot, tuck your chin a little, draw your shoulders down, find your breath. Maybe it feels good to act like you're going to place those feet flat on the ground and roll the knees forward a little bit. Keep your knees crossed, release your arms, bring them out like cactus, shift your hips to the left, lower the knees to the right. Maybe right hand helps them all the way down. See if you can lower that elbow and hand all the way down as you gaze out in that direction. Breathe all the way into your low back. Slowly come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest one last time. And let your legs go long on the mat. Spread your feet as wide as the mat. Let your toes fall open. Bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Tuck your chin. Close your eyes. If you want, you can continue that box breathing, or you can completely let go of controlling your breath. But if thoughts come back in, that box breathing or counting the breath might still help you here. So see if the same way we soften through the shoulders and the jaw, releasing tension in the body, see if you can apply that inside the head here. See if you can soften up some of those ideas, some of those judgments. See if you can let go a little bit, just like we do of the tension in our shoulders. practice with presence, with our breath, learning to let go. Invite a deeper breath back into your body. Invite movement back into your fingers and into your toes. And invite yourself to stay in this place of calm. It's always right here for you. Down deeper than the pain body, beneath all the chaos, is this place of peace that is our true nature. So the more often we access it, the easier it gets to access. And eventually maybe it can become our natural state, our default state. So roll onto your side and just take your time here. Lately, I've been thinking a lot like yoga is how I was listening to this thing that was talking about the only reason we're still alive is because we had the ability as reptiles to respond before we think. And it was talking about that like it was a really good thing. It was like, oh, it's good because now you're not dead. And it's like, but now that we don't have to do that, we have that kind of working against us, right? But I always feel like yoga is the way we do that. We practice making that little bit of space and taking that breath so that we can hopefully take that little pause, that little space, that little breath before we react. Unless, of course, you're in a life-threatening situation, then just, go ahead and act before you think. When you're ready, slowly peel yourself back up to a seat, letting your head just be heavy. Maybe your eyes stay closed. Coming back to that nice tall spine. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. One last time, squeeze the palms together, lift the fingers high, bring all this good energy we created in class, squeeze it here in your hands. And then bring it right down to the forehead for good, clear thoughts. Down to the lips for good, clear communication. And down to the heart for good, clear intentions. Let the head bow to the wisdom of the heart. Close your eyes. Bring the thumbs up to that space above the eyebrows. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank yourself for making time. May all beings everywhere be free from pain and suffering. May our thoughts and actions in some way contribute to that. Namaste.